What's up, y'all? Candy Girl here with my 2 cents on Steve Harvey and this joke about the Flint Water Crisis that he had the nerve to make. So before I get into this video, for all of my first-time viewers, welcome to this channel. Please be sure to subscribe. Don't forget to thumbs up and share this video because that helps my video actually become more visible to the YouTube community. But anywho, let's go ahead and get to the video. So Steve Harvey was on his morning radio show as usual. So he was talking to one of his listeners who had called in, and they were talking about the Cavaliers losing the NBA championship. Ooh, excuse me. So the caller was like, Cavs don't deserve Jack, or whatever. Steve Harvey took offense to that. Now, by way of background, the viewer said that he was from Flint. So then Steve chimes in. He's like, ain't you from Flint? Y'all ain't even got clean water. I don't know exactly why he was saying anything like that or like where he was going with that joke, but nonetheless, his co-host was like, okay, bad joke. Might want to reel it in. So Steve was just like, we ain't talking about the Flint water crisis right now. We just, kind of joking back and forth about our cities or whatever. But you would think that, okay, if it was offensive, then he just doesn't joke about it anymore. But instead, what he does is, before the caller got off the line, he was like, and enjoy your brown glass of water or something like that. So, for all of my people who are not familiar with the Flint water crisis, because I do have more than a couple of subscribers who are not in the United States at all, in Flint, Michigan, and I'm from Bloomfield Hills, Michigan, so we're kind of close. I would say Flint is less than 3 hours away. Flint, Michigan has been having lead contaminated water for years. And as a matter of fact, there was a scientist or something of that nature who notified the governor about the water contamination years before it even became a big, media phenomenon, and he simply ignored it. So basically, they were knowingly and continuously exposing people to deadly materials in their water that they were paying to have. This is something that now officials are being charged with involuntary manslaughter. This is a big deal. So the fact that he would even make a joke about that is completely insensitive because it has affected people in a very major way. But this speaks to a much larger issue for me. Steve Harvey had a talk show on TV, and I'm really not sure if he still has that talk show, but I'm assuming that he doesn't. Nonetheless, he had a talk show, and in that talk show, he did a lot of very charitable things for people who were in need. He's given away money, cars, houses, education, all kinds of things for people who really just wanted to do well for themselves but didn't have the means to do it and really just needed somebody to give them a chance. And that's what he did for people. He also has had his family on the show multiple times doing special presentations for him and showing how much of a family man he is, how much his family loves him and adores him and cherishes him and everything. And it's just been amazing to see the type of negative press that he's had lately as it pertains to, number one, his failed marriages, and now the Flint water crisis. Now let's go back to the talk show issue. He had a young lady that they coined as the Little Miss Flint. I don't think she was more than like 6 years old or something like that, because if you look at the pictures of when she visited him on his show, he's like holding her in his arms, on his hip or whatever, and like being all cozied up on her and stuff, like, oh, look at the little baby with the lead water. And he's acting like he just cares about these people so much. Yet, you would not take it seriously enough to the point where now you're making jokes about it on your radio show and you're using it as a dig against somebody who's just making a sports joke. You know what I'm saying? You brought the issue up on your radio show. You're discussing it. You know that there are just as many Cavs fans as there are. I don't even know who the other team was that won because I ain't even watch it for real. But you know that they're going to be opposing sides and that they're going to be fans on both sides. You know what I'm saying? So it would make sense that if you're talking about this on a nationwide radio show, there are going to be people who are going to call in and defend the names of the champions. So, you know, for you to use that as a dig in a way to like get back at somebody, you're supposed to be a career comedian. You know you can come up with better jokes than that, right? So that's number one, that you come off to be so big of a humanitarian, and you know you give to the community and all this other stuff, and you have even went as far as to have people on your show about the Flint Water Crisis, and then you turn around and make a joke out of it and use it as a dig against somebody. That is completely out of line, inappropriate, and as a matter of fact, you need to be doing a lot more than giving a public apology to make up for what you just did. Number two, Steve had a lot of negative press over the last couple of years about his divorce. Mary Harvey was married to him for several years when he hardly had a dollar to his name, and she was there for him from day one of his career, when he was really not working for much money at all and was not known on any, you know, big platform or anything like that. And now, you know, he gets rich and he gets him a little light-skinned wife and dumps her, right? So he was cheating on Mary Harvey, his ex-wife, with Marjorie, the one he's with now. So she files for divorce and he raked her across the coals, y'all. He took everything from her, including her son. Okay. Anyway, so her power of attorney went onto YouTube and she made her own videos about Steve Harvey and exposing him and all this other stuff. So, I thought that she had just been started making these videos about Steve Harvey as far as the power of attorney goes. We knew that a couple years ago, Steve Harvey's ex-wife had made videos, but now this power of attorney is having her own video, right? So I'm just thinking, okay, she, you know, came out with her own little video too. Come to find out, she's got hundreds of videos on Steve Harvey. This lady is obsessed with him. I think that she thinks more about Steve Harvey and spends more energy on Steve Harvey than Steve Harvey does on himself. So at first I was just like, man, you are freaking crazy and I am not here for it. I stopped watching her videos, you know what I'm saying? I was curious at first, but then I was like, nah, I'm straight. Then Steve Harvey comes out with this joke, and I'm just like, you know what? Stuff is starting to make sense. He is a person who will do whatever it takes to forward his agenda, which is to get more money. I'd like to see $10 to $15 million of his own money go towards hiring engineers to fix the water in Flint. And then another $5 million to provide water filters for every single resident in Flint for the next 10 years, should they want to use them even after the water has been fixed. And also, you know, putting forth some scholarships to children who have had mental illnesses or any other like mental retardation because of the Flint Water crisis. Then I might think about saying that you are an all right person that just made a mistake. So y'all let me know what y'all think, okay? Let me know in the comments, what do you feel about this whole thing? Do you think it was like just a bad joke that we pretty much can just kind of like sweep up under the rug and let it go? Maybe I'm being petty. Y'all let me know. And then number two, what can he do to redeem himself to the entire public? All right, y'all. Until next time, love and